Hey everyone, it's Jackie. History isn't just about dates and names. It's about the real, human stories that linger in the places where they happened. Some locations seem to hold on to the energy of the past, becoming imprinted with the echoes of triumph, heartbreak, and tragedy. In these places the past feels alive, a presence that refuses to fade. Tonight we're diving into America's most chilling paranormal tales, where the line between our world and the next grows thin. From haunted battlefields to restless spirits, these stories aren't just about shadows in the night. They're about encounters that make us question what's real. Are these just legends, or is there something more? Turn down the lights, get comfortable, and join me as we hunt for ghosts through the pages of history. We'll sift through legends, eyewitness accounts, and try to understand what happens when the dead don't stay buried. Let's get into it. Our first stop is Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the American story but also a site of immense tragedy. The Pilgrims settled on land already devastated by plague, a ghost town before they arrived, and their first winter claimed nearly half their number. Unmarked graves and hidden burials set a somber tone that still lingers. Plymouth's Living History Museum is considered one of the most haunted places in the state, with visitors reporting a heavy sadness and spectral figures in colonial attire. The land is marked by the violence of King Philip's War, one of the bloodiest conflicts in American history. People have heard war cries, musket fire, and mournful chanting in the woods, echoes of a brutal past. On Burial Hill, cold spots and ghostly whispers are common, as if the sorrow of centuries refuses to fade. Plymouth's haunting isn't about a single ghost. It's the collective grief of a place built on tragedy. Some wounds, it seems, never truly heal. Deep in Plymouth stands the Spooner House, a time capsule of colonial life, and a hotspot for the unexplained. The most chilling presence is that of a young girl in colonial dress, her identity lost to history. Visitors glimpse her darting through rooms or hear her soft footsteps upstairs, even when alone. The most unsettling encounters happen in the children's bedroom, where she appears solid and real, her eyes filled with sorrow. She never speaks. She simply raises her hand, beckoning silently, inviting the living to follow. No one has ever accepted her invitation, and she vanishes as suddenly as she appears. The air grows cold, silence falls, and witnesses are left shaken, haunted by her sadness. Dozens have reported the same details: the dress, the beckoning, the overwhelming sense of loss. Is she a lost soul, or is she trying to reveal a forgotten tragedy? The ghostly child of the Spooner House reminds us that the most terrifying spirits are often the ones who ask us to join them. Her silent invitation lingers, unanswered. The house remains, filled with memories, and something else. Sometimes history refuses to let go. Now we travel to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, site of the Civil War's bloodiest battle, and a place where the past feels painfully close. Little Round Top was the scene of desperate hand-to-hand combat, and its rocky slopes are said to be haunted by those who fell there. One famous encounter comes from Civil War reenactors camping on the hill. A gaunt, weary man in a tattered Union uniform joined them by the fire, speaking as if he were still fighting the battle. He handed them real Civil War musket rounds, authentic, heavy, and impossible to explain. Before they could question him, he vanished into the darkness, dissolving into the shadows. The reenactors were left holding relics from the past, shaken by their brush with a soldier who shouldn't exist. Gettysburg's ghosts aren't just stories, they're reminders of sacrifice and suffering that refuse to be forgotten. On Little Round Top, the war never truly ended. The echoes of battle linger, and sometimes the dead return to finish what they started. History and haunting walk hand in hand here. The line between past and present is razor thin. Some spirits, it seems, are still fighting. At the edge of Long Island stands the Montauk Point Lighthouse, battered by storms and haunted by legend. The spirit of Abigail, lost in a shipwreck within sight of safety, is said to wander here. Her cries echo through the lighthouse during storms, a sound of pure grief carried on the wind. Footsteps climb the spiral stairs at night, but the tower is always empty. Some see a misty woman in 19th century dress gazing out to sea, searching for a ship that will never return. Cold spots and the touch of a damp, invisible hand leave visitors chilled to the bone. Is Abigail just a story, or a true echo of tragedy? For those who've heard her weep, the legend feels heartbreakingly real. The lighthouse stands as a beacon and a tomb for a sorrow that endures. Some losses are never washed away. Our final story takes us to Adams, Tennessee, home of the infamous Bell Witch. In 1817, the Bell family was tormented by an unseen force, knocks, whispers, and violent attacks. The entity targeted young Betsy Bell, pulling her hair and slapping her while taunting the family with a chilling, intelligent voice. It claimed to be the witch of Kate Batts, a neighbor who'd sworn revenge. The haunting drew crowds, even Andrew Jackson, who fled after a night of terror. The witch promised to kill John Bell, and did. He died after drinking a mysterious poison, with the entity boasting of its deed. The Bell Witch's reign of terror continued, promising to return, and some say it still haunts the land. This was no passive ghost, but a force that destroyed a family and left a legacy of fear. The Bell Witch remains one of America's most chilling supernatural mysteries. The land around the old Bell farm is still considered haunted. Some say the witch never left. The story endures, a warning that some curses never die. In Adams, the past is always watching. From Plymouth's sorrow to the terror of the Bell Witch, these stories challenge what we believe about the world. They suggest that powerful emotions, grief, rage, tragedy, leave a mark that time can't erase. These aren't just campfire tales. They're deeply human experiences that defy explanation. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the consistency of these accounts is hard to ignore. We see the same archetypes: the weeping woman, the lost soldier, the haunted child. These places absorb the echoes of suffering, and sometimes the past refuses to stay silent. If walls could remember, what stories would they tell? Remember, you're never truly alone, even in silence.